That was good. I thought that was really good.
All right. You know the good part about all this is we all know each other so well, we can play off of each other easier than probably most people. All right, guys, we do a lot of reviews, a lot of tastings, all that good stuff. But today we're doing just a quick little educational piece on small batch versus single barrel bourbon. There is a difference for the people who don't know. And Tucker, I'll let you go ahead and take off, brother.
Yeah, bourbon has a ton of different classifications. Some are actually tax related. Some are just for show or marketing purposes. Today we have in front of us Benchmark, which comes from Sazerac and Buffalo Trace. One of the big great products, really for the price, good budget options.
I agree.
One of the big classifications that a lot of people get confused about is single barrel to small batch to some of these mass-produced products. In front of us today, we have Benchmark single barrel, Benchmark small batch. Biggest difference between these, when you think about something with small batch in it, small batch is very subjective to the distillery. It has no tax implications for them.
Right.
And they can choose what their small batch is.
Right. It could have a wide range. It could be from anything from 2,
I mean,
3?
at least two.
Two barrels to 100.
At least two to
it could be anything.
Anything. In the case of Buffalo Trace, probably looking 2 to maybe 500.
Honestly,
which would be a small batch for them.
Sometimes people can disclose whatever their small batch might be, and that's a cool aspect. But generally, you're not going to see that disclosure of what a small batch is. Just remember that it's more than 1 barrel.
Correct. And honestly, you're gonna get some variation in that, but it sometimes kind of equals itself out because there are so many barrels. It's gonna end up being a pretty similar flavor profile to another small batch bottle that you have.
Yeah, so I would say that a small batch product is something that you could, if you find a small batch product that you like, generally you could go pick this up and you could go pick it up again, and it's going to generally taste about the same.
Right.
You're not going to get something that's like, wow, I tasted this this time and this a different time. Maybe over a span of some years you might, but I would say generally you're going to get about the same flavor profile.
And on the complete opposite spectrum of that,
single barrel. Single barrel is a taxable designation from our TTB. How we designate what's actually going on the label. If you put 1 barrel of bourbon into a bottle, that barrel of bourbon has to be its own batch in a way. Right. So technically a single barrel is a batch. However, you're only getting 30 to 50 wine gallons, and that is the one batch, whereas this could be 20,000 wine gallons, and it's 200, 300 barrels.
Yeah.
So big difference with single barrel to a small batch. Small batch, you're getting a much more consistent product. You might have some batch drift as far as it might be slightly different for the finest of palates. Once you go to a single barrel, you're gonna get a lot more individual characteristics. Based on the distillery, you're probably gonna get some things that carry over, but the single barrel will present its own characteristics, good or bad.
Absolutely. Right? And I'll say this, if you try a single barrel and you're like, hey, I don't like Benchmark, hey, I don't like this single barrel, don't write off the entire thing. Try another single barrel or try the small batch. Just because you had a single barrel product you don't like does not mean that you don't like that particular product or that particular distillery. So, with that variety, with those different flavors and the different barrels that you're gonna get in these, make sure that you don't write it off completely. Now, you may not like it, but try it again and see how you feel about it.
So just remember that with the single barrel, it's just gonna be 1 barrel. Whereas with the small batch, it's gonna be 2 to however many that they wanna do. It could vary. So just let us know if you guys want to hear more educational videos and what you guys want to hear. Also, let us know if you'd like us to try this Benchmark product, something that we could definitely dip into.
Maybe a Benchmark flight at some point.
It is a product that is pound for pound for the price point, something that we enjoy. So maybe that we'll do a Benchmark product here soon.
Absolutely. And we'll have more of these videos like Shane said. Give us some topics, give us some things, and we'll keep doing our thing, and y'all keep listening.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate your guys' support. If you like what you're seeing, please check us out on
YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook.
Yeah, and one last thing, another shout out, another thank you to Happy Hour Bar and Liquor Store here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. You guys come check this place out. It's great. Thanks.
3 Kings Bourbon wishes you to drink like a king, but to act like one also. Please drink safely and responsibly.